In a previous video, we talked about the various starter queries that you can utilize to get yourself moving. That's just one of several tools that we have to get you to a place where you can create queries rapidly. In this video, we're going to discuss the SentinelOne Hunter tool. The Hunter tool is a browser plugin that you can utilize to scrape web pages and to give you access to various queries to get things quickly into the system. The Hunter tool is available right from the Deep Visibility web page. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see a link that says Try S1 Hunter. It is a Chrome extension. When I click this, it takes me to the Chrome plugins area. In my case, I've already installed it, so therefore I do not need to install it again, and it just allows me to remove it, but I'm not going to remove it. This is free and downloadable by anybody, although without the console, it's not terribly useful. Once it's downloaded and installed, you'll get a purple icon in the upper right-hand side. When I click on that purple icon, it starts up the Hunter plugin. And there is a little bit of configuration that you have to do. Usually it'll put it in there automatically, but it may not. If you click on the gear, you have to put in your management URL. To get your management URL, simply go to your management console and look at the top of the screen. You only need the portion up to the .net. So if you are further down inside the platform, don't worry about it. All you need is the HTTPS all the way to .net. And if you take that and copy and paste it into the gear, into the management URL, that will give you the appropriate setup that you need. The Singularity Platform API token is optional. This is for Signal customers, and it will enhance the functionality of the tool, but it is not required. The final thing is, how would you like to scrape your URLs? And more or less, if you go towards the bottom one, this will err on something that even looks like a URL, but the issue, of course, will be it will not necessarily be 100% correct, and you'll get some false positives. A false positive will mean that you'll get something that'll return a value that's not quite right, and you might need to, instead of saying equals, which is what this will default to, you'll need to actually have it set up to be a contains. So you might need to modify the resulting string slightly in order to get all of the options to function correctly. Once you've got this set up, go ahead and click on Save, and you're ready to go. So on this page, I seem to have a couple of things that are going on here, mostly dealing with some of the things we've already searched for, but this really comes into its own when we look at different websites. Talos is a good example of a website that we can pull interesting information from. This particular one is the threat roundup for this date period and time period, which is fine. And if I click on the scraper tool for this, notice I have lots of things that I can pull off of this page. I have one MD5 hash. I have 167 SHA-256s. If I click on IP, all the way down here, we've got 144 different IP addresses, 274 different network URLs to look at. So we can look up any one of these. I can simply check it off and click on Hunt, and it'll generate for me an appropriate query. Now, what's interesting is, remember, we can check off more than these. I can check off several of these at the same time, and it'll create a query where they'll create an in statement where it'll say what network URL is equal to this, comma, this, comma, this, so on and so forth. It'll be an in statement. It is interesting when you see here that there are 274 different objects. Remember, there is a limit of 100. The system can take care of that. Check this out. If I go to the IP addresses, for example, I can click on Select All. Once I click on Select All, I've now selected 144 things, and it's going to create this in one tab. Well, you might ask, how's it going to do that, given that that's more than the 100 item limit? Not a problem. Here we go. Notice we have the first 100 listed in an in statement for destination IP address. Then we simply create an OR, and then we list the next 44 in another. Obviously, there are limits to how far we can go. Remember, we're only allowed to have 20 different things here, which are a combination of field, how you want to look, and entries. So in other words, I can't have more than 20 destination IP in versions. Each one can have 100, so I can't have more than 2,000 IP addresses, or else it won't be able to deal with it. Though looking up 2,000 different IP addresses might be quite a bit. So when I actually search here, I do get some results even in my test environment. I would have to then inspect what each of these is to figure out how exactly this IP address is an issue for my network. That's how the scraper version works. Under library, this is more or less a more commonly updated version of our starter scripts. Specifically, the S1 research queries. Usually they are pretty one-to-one. However, the Hunter is updated more often. And so if there's something brand new that came out, it will most likely show up in Hunter first, and then it will eventually get transferred into the SentinelOne research queries. The Hunter tool is nothing more than a tool that lets you take action as soon as you find things on websites and make immediate queries into your environment. It's very convenient for that, but it's a very simple tool, and it's just creating complex queries based on what you select from scraping web pages.